Olivier is from Switzerland. He has 2 decades of experience in web development, and he's a Zoho consultant, and he is experienced in implementing Zoho One for his customers. So today he is going to talk about automating, organizational processes, and I'm sure it's going to be a great insight to you all. How he uses, multiple Zoho products to automate business workflow.
As Divya said, I'm a web developer for now about 20 years, and I moved to Zoho in 2019, just before the COVID. And since then, I had many clients, and today I want you to show one of them, one development did for one client. It's interesting because it uses a lot of applications together. And this is not something that I started with. The client already used Zoho before. And so I started with some pieces. So this is what I want to show, the before and the after. What I want to show you is the business case. So my customer, what he wanted to have, and also then the existing workflow. And you will see that they have some pain points. And also the request he wanted to have. Then I will show you the challenges and the strategy I used to achieve this workflow. Actually, there are many workflows, and how do I automate it. After that, there will be a small questions if you want, and then a small demo. Okay. So the business case, the client is organizing on-site events. So he's making some events here in Lausanne, and he is giving awards to these people. So participants needs to register, upload videos because it's a marketing event, and then they will have to pay for participating. And the goal was to automate as much as possible. He told me, if I have nothing to do, it's good. And it's all I achieve almost this. So the workflow uses 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Zoho apps. So we have forms, CRM, books, work drive. At the very beginning, there were also backstage, and then also flow. So flow is very centric because this is all the intelligence of the whole workflow. So what he started is with one forms, and everything was saved in it. And then when you send a form, you can create in CRM accounts or deals or any other modules or records in modules. And he started with accounts. And the problem was he was making a deal from the accounts manually. So a deal was not a deal to as a prospect or for contract. We used a deal for registration because they have many steps in it. So that's what the deal was used in it. I will show you what in the demo what it is. Then when the deal was done, so it means the registration was good, then it will do manually an invoice in books. There were no link directly to make the invoice. Then it needed to download all the materials from the form, and there are some problems in forms because it's limited to 20 megabytes per document, and the marketers are using videos. It means hundreds and hundreds of megabytes of video. So we had a lot of problems. His workaround was to use links, YouTube links in the form. You will see it. and then he needed to get all the data himself using different software to get all the documents, the videos out of it. So it means a lot of time used to download things with and not being really in the event. For the participations, for the registration, the participant, because we had an online version 2 at the same time on the on-site, we used Backstage, and we had the manual registration. And at the time, this is not the case in 2024, but at the time, every registrant in Backstage could be pushed to CRM and not back from CRM to Backstage. It means that people who were already in CRM could not be found, and this was a pain point for that. Finally, someone before I arrived created a lot of flows also workflows in flows. Sorry, and one of them was huge. I mean, you will see it. I take a screenshot. I didn't put it in the demo because it's really huge. And it was one of the reasons I kept using Flow. But I will show you. So the existing flow was just looking like this. So every column is an application. So you can read it from left to right and from top to bottom. So we had the form in green, which will create a work drive folder and then create a CRM in blue, an account, and then the deals would be done by the client, my customer, which will create an invoice. He will send the invoice to his client, and then when it's paid, there were a flow that was updating the deal back to the CRM. Basically, the CRM was some kind of dashboard for him, so he knew who was registering and what step he was in. So it should be all grid at the end. At the same time, we had the backstage, who will push a new order and email to the client to his clients. So it looked like quite simple, but everything that is where you have a client, the little actor, is manual. And I forgot to add all the downloads of all the videos here, because this is very time consuming. It's not inside the ecosystem of Zoho because it's really outside, but all the videos needed to be downloaded first, and they had about 100 participants. It means a lot of videos, PDFs, and to sort, to download, and put everything in WorkDrive manually. So the question was for my customer, so is simplify maximum. What he really wanted is, okay, Olivier, if I'd like to have one button I push and everything is okay. Everything, and I don't want to deal with registration and everything. I want to organize my events on site. It takes a lot of time already. So he didn't want to be bothered with registration, downloading, and email and everything. Can it be done? The answer is mostly. So already in forms, I could simplify a lot the form. The CRM part, the deal was form will create a deal directly and then will create accounts. So I changed the way he did, and it was really simpler. And books was also creating invoices directly. So it didn't even have to bother with creating manually. In the first step, we didn't send the invoice automatically, but after the second edition, it said, okay, we can send directly emails with the invoice to his customer. And also we used Work Drive to download everything. And a new feature that was not existing at the very beginning was the collection. So this is a great addition to the solution. So how I get there is simply using really one variables to create and link all pieces from the forms to the CRM to the invoice, work drive, everywhere. The thing is, now I wanted to give the power to the participants, because instead of my clients to work and lose time on his event because of all the downloads, a big part of the job would go to the participants, so his customer. It means that because they are the best to know what to do, what files to do. So it's why not using it? So at the end, we have one form that my client just has to duplicate. This is always the same, and he has only one variables. I will show you it in the demo to update, and from that, all the workflows will use these variables to make his own event. The CRM is we are using for the CRM the deal list, the really classic list view that everybody knows. We had all the columns, so it's really simple. I just colored all the stages, so you know exactly if it's red, if it's green, whatever color, you can see exactly which stage is the participant. Is it registered? Is it verified? He has paid, etc. Books is pretty much non-visible. I mean, just sending invoices. So it's just a workflow that push the invoice creation, and that's all. It just gets an email. This is only when booking at the end of the fiscal year that you need to go to books to see what's happening. Work Drive is now automatic. We create, because of this variable, we create one folder per event, and in that folder, because this is always the same structure, the file structure, we have then inside a folder for each participant. So it's the name of the agency and the project. So because sometimes we have the same agency having multiple projects, they are presenting multiple projects. And because of the collection, I create a collection for each participant, for each folder, and I'm using this collection to send it to the participants so they can upload themselves all the files they need for the awards. So really, they are now part of the process, and at the same time, you will see we are they are also, when we send the link collection, we are acknowledging that they have subscribed. And at the end, we have only 5 workflows, because before we had only 2, but one was really huge. Now we have 5 smaller workflows in flows. So it looks like this at the bottom. So it's exactly the same. You can read from left to right and from top to bottom. So it looks a little bit more complex, but you will see it's not that complex at all. So we start with the forms, and we have one record the participant is just filling out the forms. Very simple. It creates, so a workflow is creating, no, sorry. The integration creates a deal automatically. We call deal a registration in this case. And upon this new deal, a first workflow is triggered. So every steps in CRM are triggering a workflow inside CRM, which triggers then we calls a webhook. So everything could have been done inside the CRM, but I choose to keep everything in flows because of this first step, the create accounts and contacts. It was the former workflow that existed before me, and it was really using a lot of steps, a lot of blocks. And at the time, I didn't have the time to simplify it, to make it really easy. So I kept it. And because of that, the other workflows are also in flow. And because to be consistent, I wanted to have everything in one piece. I could have decided to move everything in CRM in workflows. That could have been possible. But I wanted to have something, it was already existing in flows. So I kept the first step in flow, and the other steps, I just developed it as extra flows in flows. So the first step was just creating the participant accounts and the customer account. So the participant is the one who is participating, registering to the awards, and the customer is the customer of the participant. And this is very interesting because the participant wanted to have his customer with him. It was not something that was asked at the very beginning, but they wanted to have the customer too. And today it's even better if we want, because the participant are putting his customer inside the participant form too as one, which is a bit problematic to manage the accounts between customers and participants. But it's very interesting how they behave. So once you have the flow already created, what they are wanted, but it was first for me is to have some kind of logs, and I use Click for that. That's why you have to the right notification. So for every step, I wanted to know what is happening. I could have done this in analytics, for example, and have a table. For each record, you have a log of what's happening. I liked the Click version because you just can have it on a mobile phone. So every time you have a flow happening or happened, or if there's a problem, you have a Click notification that is sent. And the thing that was really interesting is my customer. So my customer saw that and he said, "Oh, that's nice. I want it." Because it's like a little toy. He could see all the registration coming in, and he could see automatically what was failing. He could tell me what quickly. Okay, I have this a problem in invoicing. I have a problem in any steps. So he was really involved in it. He liked it, and he asked also his colleagues to install Click so they could see it too. So it was an extra step because it was just for me, but at the same time, it shows your client, or my client in this case, that it's working, and they can have a feedback, a positive or also a negative, because even if there's an error, I have color-coded all the notifications. So for every step, I have the click, and now after the accounts in Serum were created, I would create all the folder in work drive. And the same, if there's a problem or not, I will have a notification folder created. The next step is to email the subscription, so the registration actually. And if you can read, you have a trigger of plus 10 minutes. So the email subscription is just acknowledging that, yes, we have received your forms, your registration, and it's all good. And I'm using this email to send also at the same time the link to the collection. I wrote something like, now we have opened a dedicated space for you to upload all the files. Please click on this link and upload it. And it has a very positive influence on the end customer or the participant, because they knew that it was agreed, and at some time they could go further. It's before they didn't have this acknowledgement. Now we have it. The problem is, and this is why I have the trigger plus 10 minutes, is that I don't know when a folder is created. It takes sometimes, and the sometimes is not really known. And I don't know today. This is something I still don't know yet. Maybe you can help in this case. Is when the specific folder is created, I want to have a feedback of maybe a flow or something, a signal saying, okay, triggering a workflow. I still don't have it. That's why I know more or less that it takes about 5 minutes. Within 5 minutes, all the folder structure is created. That's why I put 10 minutes, and it's okay. My client is aware of this. We are not in a rush for creation for this, so 10 minutes is still okay, and it's enough time to get the folder URL. At the same time, we have another trigger which creates the invoice, and we had another problem there with the invoice, because you see you have a trigger plus 4 hours. This is something that we discover. So my client is not a big client; it's a small team, and we noticed that books and CRM are synchronized. Contacts and accounts are synchronized. Normally, they are synchronized every 2 hours. This is normal. But in his case, it happened. It can take more than 2 hours, and we didn't know why. It took us some time to figure out, and I think it's the Zoho support for books told us, or CRM, I'm not sure anymore, that if we are not using CRM or books on a daily basis, the synchronization can't last longer. And this is the case. They are not always using CRM or books every day. That's why sometimes we notice it can take 3.5 hours. That's why I used 4 hours. So we are creating and sending an invoice 4 hours after the first form, basically, because everything is done within the moment the form is sent. So basically, we have a form that is created by the participant. A folder is created. The accounts is created for his customer, for the participant. We have an email acknowledging that an email is that we have the registration. They can follow with uploading all the materials they need for the words, just with the link. And 4 hours later, uh, they have an invoice where they can click and pay. So the payment is after. Before we had everything in one in the forms, and now we have it in 3 steps, which my client is really happy with that, because at the end it just duplicate the form and he has everything done automatically, and he has for every step a notification that this participant is had as these steps, the links, even the link to the invoice if needed. I added a last workflow, more for really following, is when the participant is uploading a file, also gets a notification. But it was not asked, but this is more for me to know what's happening if there's any problems. So this is all for the workflow. Basically, it's complex, but there's nothing to do. If there's something, and this is something that is interesting in flows, and this is why I use all this webhook. If something is happening and we have a problem, we could always, or I could always, use the webhook to push myself all the data again, or replay the workflow again at any moment, and it will follow. This is the beauty of this webhook. I'm not sure I could have done the same if everything was in the CRM, in the workflows. But with Flow, this is I used it at the very beginning. I saw that we had problems, so I get always all the message from the history, and I could send again the webhook with all the content, so it was automatically made again, or I could replay. So this is something that was really useful. I will show you a quick demo of how it looks. So one thing, if you want to take screenshots, because I'm sure you will do, not everything is functioning because it's a rough structure of it. I will not do a full. I will not run everything, because otherwise it will take 5 hours. I don't think we have 5 hours for today. So here it is. So first we start with Zoho forms, because this is the very first form that my clients was using, and it looked like this. Basically, we had 6 steps. So with the project name, the creator, so this is really for the first page was for the project itself. So it had different categories, also a text for the jury. Then we have all the files to upload. Problems is we are limited to 20 megabytes, and for videos you can't. I mean, you just can't use it. So you could upload screenshots and documents, and the same for the videos. At the end, you could still upload videos, but 20 megabytes, or we had simply a link to Swiss Transfer, which is a website to upload huge files. So this is what he used, and also YouTube links. Problems is on his side, he had to download from these links manually all the other files. So this is what it was really a pain of it. Then we have the participants, so all the address, postal codes, all the contacts, and end customer too. So this is something that the participant requested too. So very, very simple. And finally, the payment. So I didn't add the payment at that moment. I don't have a Stripe link, but they used the Stripe for that. And you have so normally this is hidden. You have the book SKU, which should be then the product inside books. So it should already exist because we have to make a link. So in this case, the SKU was M, and then you had to submit it. So it was a process where for the participant you put everything at once, but behind you have a lot of work to do. So I created another one. So this is the M24 for this year, which is it only has 4 steps, so 2 steps less. The text is maybe really, really small. Sorry for that, but it's not very important. It's just saying how it works. So the registration procedure is now in 2 steps. First, you enter the project, then you will upload and pay for the participation. That's all, because we need to tell that it's new. We have another process. So basically, it's the same. You have the project detail with the title of the video. That's all. It's really text. Then the participant, just like before, this has not changed at all. We added some Instagram and Twitter, and end customer, the same form. Nothing changed. And then payments and confirmation. This way we tell them again, payment will be on the PDF in the invoice instead of paying it right now. And the confirmation by email with the link of the collection in WorkDrive. So we say the email contains a link to your dedicated space to upload your files. Really, really simple. So they know that they submit, they will get an acknowledgement to then go to the second step. So it's very, very simple. And I will show you then the settings. So first, we have integration. Really simple. Integration with the CRM. So we now deal with the deals. So we create a deal. It's automatic. There's no flow. It's built in. Perfect. And also in the settings. So here is for the registration name, you see we use variables from the forms to make a unique name for the registration name. This is important, so you know that sometimes we have 2 agencies who have who are posting 2 different projects. So we need to know which one is to which one. So we add a lot of fields here. There's way more than you can have. I will show you in the CRM in a moment. In the settings, also something that we have is the manage form attachment. So for every time you have a form, you can ask forms to send a PDF with all what is inside the forms, and it can be then pushed to WorkDrive in a specific folder. The key part of this form, and actually the whole workflow, is in the builder, and at very, very, very end, I put it here. These are all the hidden variables, and the one that is the most important, the one that my customer has to change, to update, is the code pre. So it's a prize, it's an award, and it just has to change this value here. So this year it was M24. Next year will be M25. You will just have to duplicate this form, change maybe the text if you want, but the most important is change this value. From that moment, all the folders, all the names will be depending on this value. That's why it's very important, and this is the only thing he has to do, basically. And even in clicks, even in CRM, everything is depending on this value. We have the code produit. Produit is for the, actually this is the SKU you saw in the other form. So this is one of the articles that or service is a product in the item in books. So this is something that we need to have it too. But you don't have to change it at all. So we know that it's this product has been bought by this person and put inside books. So from the forms, you need to know how books is working already, and the same for the code pre, which will be in flow, in forms, in CRM, and also in books. So from there, we are in forms. We create automatically then registrations in the CRM. So these are not real content. These the sample content from the CRM. I just changed a little bit. So you have the registration. So normally you will have as a registration name the agency and project name because of the form. You can have it here. So unique ID and single one. So the name are not very explicit in this case. This is single one. I don't know how Forms is using it. But basically, this is the registration name here in CRM and the stage. This is basically the two most important columns. So you have all the steps. You see in green it's paid, blue it's invoiced. Registered are very new. If I go into one of them, so the deal. So registration is really a deal. This is nothing different. So we have all the stages here. We changed them. The default are not registered, verified, invoiced, paid, etc. They are different. So for him, this is what he wanted. So when you have a new record in Forms, you get registered, then verified, invoiced, and then paid. This is all we have here. Then every time you have a new step, a new stage, very simple, we have workflows. So I named and also numbered the workflows. So these are really workflows inside CRM, but in fact they are all webhooks. So for example, when you have the new registration, this one is triggered, and it's creating accounts and contacts. And as you can see, actually it's using webhooks for that. If I go back for the second step, it's also a webhook. In fact, they are all webhooks. It's a webhook for creating also the folders and the email. This is the +10. So once the registration is there, I add 10 minutes before calling the webhooks. This is something that I need to improve. I don't know how. If you have any ideas, tell me. I'm open to that. And facturation, it's invoicing. This is the same. So it creates a webhook with 4 hours in this time, because also we have the problem of synchronization. Because sometimes if it's a new participant, the participant is created automatically in CRM, and it can take 3 hours to be pushed to books. That's why. And I had no time to find another way to do it. Sometimes we have to had to do it very quickly. So it's not. It was a challenge. It was a challenge. So the registration basically just go ahead simply because of the workflows of the CRM who are calling Zoho flows. And now we have Zoho flows, and you can see we have 8 flows. The very first, you can see you have also almost click everywhere. So because these are the notifications. So for every step, I know what is happening. This is very for me important to know what is doing what. So the very first one is not needed, but I want to know that there is a new form coming in. So it's just a webhook saying, okay, I have a new registration, and just say on books. It does nothing else. It's just really for information. The first one, and this is the one that is really, really, really big. Not here. I make it simpler. This is creating the accounts for the participants and also for his customer. Basically, it creates or updates, but at some time it checks if all the information are correct. So let me show you how it looks really. So I don't know if you can see it, but it's really tiny because it's huge. I will make it bigger. So it starts also with a webhook, and it gets all the information if they're existing. So it gets all the accounts from the participants, from the clients, and checks if they are existing or not. And if yes, they are updating. If not, they're creating. I didn't do it. They make it so it's update or create. It add some tags too. For the client and for the customer. And there have been some problems in it too. It's overcomplicated, I think. We could really simplify it. For example, they used variables inside to have the same ID, and they could do it without, I think. So basically, it's creating or updating the customer or the participants, and at the end update the registration subscription here to push from registered to verified, so everything is okay. This part, fetch campaign, is outside. I removed it from the tree for now because we used another so we used another workflow for that, but I wanted to keep it just in case. So it's not working at all here. It's just outside. And at the end, I have my notification with the bot. So this is very complicated, and I didn't want to use it, and because I didn't have any time to move it to CRM, I kept it in Flow, and this is one of the triggers for me to say, okay, I develop everything in Flow. So this is the first. So really, for you, it's just creating an account, contact, and updating the module, which is the registration module for for the participant and for the customer. So the tag and campaign, this is the part that was used also, is to add the tags, and for the campaigns behind, just a very simple workflow. It's triggered to add the tag, and this tag is just, it's simply the variables I have. So I should actually fetch first the registration to have, because the registration has the variables inside uh, the ah, the code pre you have in form is in the registration, so I should get it. I forgot to add uh, the the block here, fetch registration. Then I create the work drive folder. This is a little bit longer because I need to create the folder and the collection link. Then for me, it was to send a message that it was created and wait again 15 minutes. Why I needed to wait 15 minutes? Actually, it's more 10 minutes. It's because after that, remember in forms, you can save a PDF of the record of the form that has been sent by um, the participants. And I wanted to have this form inside the project itself. So we have everything together. But because I didn't know when the folder will be created, I need to wait. Also, before moving these forms. This is another problem with how do I know which folder is created. I don't want to know any folder, but one is specifically, and this is something I'm struggling for the moment. So when it's done, I also have a message with a notification. And then once it's done, I can send an email, a confirmation email to my client saying basically, hi, the name and first name. We want to confirm. I don't know. It doesn't work like this. I cannot zoom in. Okay. Hello. We confirm that you have subscribed and you have the collection link. You can just click and they will go to Work Drive, which is really simple for the customer and also my client. Finally, I create the invoice. So remember, it's trigger plus 4 hours. So the 4 hours later, I have this webhook that is created. Yes, sorry, played. So it creates an invoice. It updates the registration, of course, to say it's invoiced. We have here the step invoiced. So we have registered, verified. Now it's invoiced. And then a notification that the invoice is sent, or because I know that we have this problem with the plus 4 hours and the synchronization, I also have a message that the invoice could not be created or sent or whatever because of some problems, and this is the reason why it's here. Another the last before the last when the participant is uploading, it's really a simple workflow too. You see, I'm using not this time not a webhook, but when a file is created, I just send it to click. So I know which kind of file it is, and I know if it's an upload from the project, from the agency, from the participant or not, or if there are any problems. So it's really for logging. This is something that I really needed to know because on site everything goes really quick. So it's better to have all the informations, and we can prove or we can tell the participant we have it, we received it or not. So it's a bit of traceability too. At the end, we need to be paid, of course. So we have also a webhook, this time not coming from the CRM, but from books. So when an invoice is paid, we update the registration to paid and, of course, a notification. So in this case, it's paid. So we registered, it's a renew one. Verified, it's when the account is created. Invoiced is when the invoice is done, and then paid. Simple, 4 steps. So in books, because we have this workflow, it's just a workflow inside books when an invoice is paid. I mean, this is a trigger that exists in books, so there's nothing very specific for that. When an invoice is paid, just call a webhook, the webhook, which is in this case this flow. Very simple. It's exactly the same for the CRM. These are all webhooks. At the end, we have, so my client is really happy with that. We have the team folder with the events. The M24, this is the variables that you saw at the very beginning in forms. It's creating the M24. Inside, there's always a folder named project. This is something that's what wanted my client. And inside that, you have the M24 agency and the name of the project. So we have, every time you have the list of all the participants inside this work drive, and then they could share these folders or move these folders for the jury. So a next step. So maybe I don't know when we will do it. Is to create for each categories all the folders and duplicate automatically, depending on the forms categories, all this folder. So basically, the jury just has to click on which category they are voting for, and they have all the participants in it. This is something that we still need to do and to manage. But it will be quite simple because first, if I go back to forms, we have in the builder, we have the categories. This is the first choice, second choice, third choice. And we have the code pre. So we know exactly where to move the other folders or copy the folders, because sometimes you can select multiple categories at the the very top. So this is something that needs to be done. I don't know when I don't have the schedule for that, but this is the next step. So I go back here. So at the end, what do we have? We have the customer just duplicates the last form, update this one variables, which is the code pre in this case. And that's what it makes. You can change even the categories. It's not a problem because it's it's basically a drop-down menu inside the CRM. But if you add new entries, it will take these new entries automatically. So not a very big problem. I'm using Click for traceability because he knows and I know and the team knows what is really happening. And if it tells me something is wrong, or even afterwards someone is calling the team, I can check automatically how it looks. Now we have the work drive. The work drive have automatically all the structure made for each event with all the folders for all the participants, and the participants themselves can upload as many data they want. The only limitation actually we did is to have 1 GB per collection, which is more than enough. The client wanted 500, but the minimum in this case is 1 GB. So it's really okay. And because of the collection, we also can make the link uh, down at the day of the events, actually. So they can upload at the very up to the very last moment if they need. Then the link is just uh, shut down automatically. This is something that you can set in WorkDrive, but I've set it via via flows. So how can it be improved? There's a lot to be improved. This is the beauty of it, and I don't. It works. I would say today, 99% of what my client wanted works. There's only improvement in for the jury to have their own folders. There's something with these triggers, the 10 minutes and the 4 hours. There's something that is working, but it would be nice to have it make it proper. Uh, I make everything in flows in Zoho flows. I could have done it in CRM. Should I do it or not? This is still a question I'm asking myself. I'm not sure, but it works now. The only thing is I would simplify the very first step with creating the accounts for the customer and the participants. Instead of Click using the analytics for logging everything, why not? I saw that in some Zoho partners. Why not? Maybe there's another way. I don't know. This is something I could do. Also, I'm using a bot to push everything instead of using a channel. This is something I don't know if it's the best way to do it. I'm asking myself. I don't know. Maybe you have any opinions, and if you have any ideas, please share it in the chat or in the questions. I mean, I'm open to improvement. I'm not saying this is the best. It works, and I like to have it working, and I can still push any update if I need.